Hey, what's up everyone? Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye here, and today we're talking about the Nikon D700. Is it still relevant? So a lot of you know that I have owned the D700. If you found on my channel, if you followed some of my work, I own the D700. I got this pretty much as one of my first full frame cameras before I got my D600 that I do a lot of my videos with, because A, I found it at a great price, and B, I read a lot that it was one of Nikon's best ISO beasts of a camera, but it was only 12 megapixels, so I was kind of skeptical about it. But now in 2016, is it still a camera to get? Is it still worthwhile? Is the main question a lot of people ask, and send me, because they are very affordable right now. You can find them for $600 with a very high shutter count, or $850. And just around that price. So is it worth buying anymore? What's my reaction about it? So I'd say the Nikon D700 since 2008 has been one of the best Nikon cameras ever. And I say that without an unbiased. It's because I've used a lot of cameras and I've owned this one for a long time. And I think it's 12 megapixels, its smaller amount of pixels, is actually perfect for event and wedding photography. And that was one of the main reasons why I got the camera as well, because the file sizes were great, but you could print anything from all different sizes, so you don't necessarily have to worry about the pixels. So 12 megapixels, fantastic. The build quality on it is pretty amazing. It's magnesium alloy, so as you'll see right here, it's pretty cool. It has a 150,000 shutter life, so that's what you kind of expect, but I've never seen the camera die yet, so that's just something to keep in mind. Its native ISO is from 200 to 6400. I wish it did go down to 100. It does through its low setting, and you can go higher than 6400 with its higher capacity, like 12,000 or something. But I've seen this camera not even maxed out at 3200, 6400. It still looks pretty phenomenal, especially if you're using flash and everything like that. You won't need to push the ISO as it is. It makes the Nikon D700 one of the best ISO cameras out there, and it just works in a lot of regards. You get 5 frames per second. That gets expanded a little bit when you use the Nikon MB D10 grip, which you could find pretty much dirt cheap nowadays as well. That's the battery grip that goes underneath. And it is lighter than the D3, which pretty much used the same guts and parts as that just had a unibody form. While this more or less now looked like a Nikon D800, but that's where the roots came from. That was kind of the major upgrade from the D700, was the Nikon D800 with obviously more pixels. I'm gonna add this in right now, I forgot to say, but it also has one CF card, compact flash card. So you don't get the dual ones like it is nowadays, where you can like a dual SD, CF, or a combination of the sort. You only get one CF card, and that was really popular and one of the upcoming speed things. So in 2016, I still highly recommend this, and I still say it was one of the best cameras I've ever owned, used photo wise, because there is no video in regards to this. There's an HDMI out, but you can see photos that way. But once again, that's one thing to keep in mind. There's no video in this because it is an older technology, really before the Nikon D90 came out with HD video. But as it stills cameras, I think it's one of the best still cameras made. Its color depth is really awesome. It doesn't have an expansive dynamic range, but it is really great for what it is. And it's highly worth the money. You can even, a lot of people will say, well, just get it as a backup body, which I 1000% agree with, because it's very inexpensive. And as I said, I'm really a fan of its low light capabilities and its build quality. It feels professional. It is professional. And a lot of people complain that the Nikon D500 won't have the pop-up flash and everything. Well, this does. That way you could still use it in commander mode for your Nikon flash system. So I highly recommend checking it out and adding it. And especially if you're wanting to get into full frame and you're still looking to build lenses, but you really want to get out of the D3000, 5000 series, I'd always say go lenses first. But if you really want a full frame body, and once again, if video is not an option, the Nikon D700 for $700, $800 is an absolute steal and a must, in my opinion. Don't count it out just because it's an older camera. If you also own a Nikon D700, let me know your experiences down below. Is there a reason why you kept it, or a reason why you sold it? Please let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. The Nikon D700 is still a great camera in 2016. I am getting a little worried that they'll eventually stop servicing that in probably the next 3 years. But until then, for $800, now you'll probably find it for a little less. It's a hell of a steal.